Hello. Before you watch this BBC episode, let me give you a bit of background. The BBC have done 6 programs on our family business over the past 8 years since 2017. These programs show how we acquire properties, assess them, renovate them, upgrade to EPC grade C or higher, and rent them out before reselling them as passive investment solutions with long-term guarantees. After sale, we immediately rent them back from the investor and pay an agreed net rent and cover all the costs and tenant liabilities, enabling the investor to be 100% passive and be living anywhere in the UK or even anywhere in the world. We have 8 main categories of houses currently priced from £69,999 to over £117,000, which can be designated as unfurnished or flexi-furnished. These are the most popular and give us the option to furnish each tenancy at our own cost to the needs of each tenant to maximise our rent. These houses cost more but always deliver the investor a higher net rent at 7% of property price per year. The property featured is our smallest property, which we classify as H0. This type includes 1-bed and very small 2-bed houses like this one. This episode was filmed in early 2024 when we were selling these for around £60,000 unfurnished. Although now we reserve these very small houses as stepping stone or interim properties for our 2-step process, which is explained on our website. The 2-step process is designed for people who don't have enough money to buy outright, and about 10% of our clients use this. It enables investors to pay just £39,999 in step 1 and acquire a very low-cost interim 1-bed house similar to this property, and then switch to a larger 2-bed or 3-bed house in 3 years. During this period, their 1-bed investment of £39,999 grows to over £50,000, and they can switch to the larger 2-bed house for a lower price of around £20,000, or a 3-bed house for around £32,000 after 3 years. It works out better than a buy-to-let mortgage to fully own a property, as there's no interest. Please visit our website at findukproperty.com to learn more. Now, here is the full episode.
Now, in a challenging housing market, it can be tricky to decide whether you buy, sell, or just ride it out. But today, we'll be meeting some bidders who took the plunge and decided now was the time to purchase property under the hammer. Buying at auction, of course, can be really exciting, but it's important not to get too carried away. So, did today's buyers keep a cool head or get swept away with it all? Let's find out. In County Durham, I stay positive. I can see potential damp issues. That aside, I still think it's a good property. Then Owine finds a glamorous feature in London.
Theatre style, miniature spotlights, bit of showbiz, darlings, why not?
And we finish in Staffordshire, where Dion has a long to-do list.
Everything needs to be done. Bathroom, kitchen, 2 reception rooms, and I've not got upstairs yet.
All these properties have been sold at auction, and we'll find out who bought them and what they paid for them when they went under the hammer.
Sold.
This is Hartlepool, a seaside town in County Durham. Its biggest visitor attraction is the National Museum of the Royal Navy, a recreation of an 18th century seaport, whose centrepiece is the frigate HMS Trincomalee, which was built in 1817, making it Britain's oldest warship still afloat. And I'm about to drop anchor at our first auction lot. Today's property is on this pretty wide, relatively quiet residential road with lots of terraced homes. Now, I'm here to see a 2-bed mid-terrace, which came with a guide price of just £29,000. You're right, that does sound quite low. I wonder why? Well, wonder no more. The windows are boarded up. This looks okay, the render looks okay, but I do wonder what's inside. Let's find out. Well, this isn't too bad at all. Your front room, reception room, living area is a terrific size. I love the proportions and, well, this is surprising, although it's boarded outside, the window itself is actually fine. The pane is fine, it's double glazed, so you might expect it to be smashed, but this is probably just a security measure while the property is empty. Then, I don't mind the fireplace, the fire surround at all. You've got a couple of exposed pipes, so you need to think about that. And actually, the decorative order is good too. The wallpaper, the paintwork, yes, the floor needs a bit of attention, but this is a surprisingly good start. Next, stairs leading up to the bedrooms, through to the kitchen, which is galley style, so quite narrow. And then you have a small, narrow room, which just now has a toilet in it. There's enough room to put in a shower and a sink, which is just as well if you don't have a bathroom upstairs. And there's also a door leading outside. So, back to the kitchen. You need a new kitchen in here. That's obvious because you only have a few units, which you might be able to salvage. It's good that somebody's ripped it out for you. It saves you a job, but you want to make sure that what you do have is safe. For example, you have radiators. Do you need to upgrade your central heating? Lots of jobs to do, but it looks clean. I can't smell any damp. For that guide price of £29,000, I still think it's pretty good.
Perhaps part of the reason the guide price is so low is the lack of outdoor space. The front door leads straight into the street, and at the back, the door beside the toilet opens out to a very small courtyard. It's not great. Hopefully, the 2 bedrooms will be a bit less restricting.
Upstairs, the first of your bedrooms is a terrific size. And I mean terrific. Considering this is a 2 up, 2 down, and pretty small, that is a great size of master bedroom. And again, I can't see any major concerns, for example, with damp spotting, which is so often the case. Then you come to the second of your bedrooms. Which is it, a single? Is it a double? It's not too small, it's not a box room. You have this, which is kind of eating into the room, and you might think, well, we'll just take it away. But you can't really, because under that, you need the head height from the staircase leading up. But why not make a feature of it? Put a couple of cushions on here, somewhere to sit, look outside. On which note? When viewing a property, always wear your investigative hat and just look out the window, look up. So I've looked out the window and I can see that the roof above your kitchen is in good order, so that's good. And then you look up and I can see potential damp issues. So there's blistering off the paint on the ceiling and you want to investigate that. And you might have to hold back some of your budget for it. But that aside, that wee area of damp, I still think it's a good property.
I might have fallen head over heels for this one, but what will a local estate agent think of this 2-bed mid-terrace, guided at £29,000?
So it's your standard mid-terrace property in Hartlepool. There's obviously quite a bit of work to do, but hopefully it's all cosmetic. Not much structural work by the looks of it. Obviously we need to install a new kitchen, bathroom, suite, but there's a lot of potential. I think the negatives are there's a lot of these properties around this area, so potential renters have got quite a pick of where they want to be at the moment. But if someone knows what they're doing, then it's a great opportunity.
And what about a rental valuation?
I think if it was done to a good standard, obviously with a brand new fitted kitchen, bathroom, suite, I think you could realistically achieve about £475 per calendar month.
And for resale?
We'd be happy marketing it at about 60,000.
I do think this bijou two-bed has a lot to give, particularly given the pretty low guide price of £29,000 and that there's not too much serious work internally to be done. That said, you've got to be canny and put on your developer's hat and figure out what the ceiling price or the top prices of properties in the area reach to figure out if this is a worthwhile investment. Or you might just want to give it a lot of love and make a lovely home. Let's find out who was up for the challenge when it went to auction.
This lot was part of a remote auction with bids taking place online.
1, 2, 3. Congratulations.
It was Hashim, here on the right, who paid £36,500 for the house on behalf of the family business run by his dad, Tarek, here on the left. Tarek has been on the show before, back in 2018. He's back with a new project and here to tell me what they have planned, while Hashim explores their latest purchase.
Tarek, very pleased to meet you.
Thank you, Martel. Nice to meet you.
It's the first time I've met you, but you have been on the show before.
Yes, I've been on the show, I think it was 7 years ago, with Dion Dublin.
Yeah, Big Dion.
Yeah.
How did that go?
It was good. I mean, it was a property in Burnley, which we renovated.
So tell me about your background in property.
Yes, I mean, we've been doing this sort of business for 16 years. It started literally from scratch with one property. And then gradually I brought my family into it because it's too much for me. My eldest daughter, Sadia, she does the marketing and dealing with investors. My other daughter, Rafia, she does all the renovation work and the maintenance. And my son, Hashim, he looks after the buying. I don't do a lot, but I do what I like, which is speaking with investors, meeting investors, and overall helping them out, really.
And your operation's quite big. It's rental portfolio, isn't it?
Yes, it's grown over the years. I mean, our business model is that we buy low-cost houses, which are good for investment. We renovate them to a good standard, bearing the long-term maintenance in mind, and then we rent them out to good tenants. And after we've rented them out, we sell them as a package to an investor. So it's really an attractive package.
What's the kind of scale of properties that you do own on your portfolio, or you have owned and have sold on and manage?
Yeah, so the last 16 years, we bought, renovated, rented out, and resold almost 2,500 properties.
Wow, it's the scale is huge. Do you take an interest in every single one?
Yes, we try to. I mean, I personally don't take interest in everyone because my son Hashim, is there, so helps me out. But in this particular property, I mean, it's a fairly standard property. It's a lot smaller than our average. You know, we have a spreadsheet where we look at the numbers. You know, this is what we can sell the property for. This is what we think we can buy it for. This is what the renovation costs are going to be. Can we make a profit? And if the answer is yes, then we set a target price. When we go to the auction, we know what we're going to bid maximum. And if we get it below that, it's great.
Yeah.
And this is what happened here.
And what is your to-do list?
Yeah, I think overall it's good, but it does need a little bit of everything doing to it to make sure that our long-term maintenance costs are low. After we've cleared the rubbish out, we assess it properly. We look at the roof. There's some tiles which will need replacing. The gutters, downpipes need replacing. There's no structural issues. There's no significant damp, but we will look for that and try and fix that, plaster it. And then we would do the electrics, plumbing, heating, and then doors and windows, move into the kitchen, bathroom, and then decorate it all. And then make sure it's compliant, from a safety point of view, and then we would rent it out to a good tenant.
Tarek is confident a budget of £15,000 will cover all that needs to be done here and hopes his team of builders will turn this project around in 3 months.
How important is it for you to create a good standard of home for someone?
It's critical. I mean, this is why we're in business, really, because what we want to do, a lot of the properties which we have renovated have been derelict properties. Never used for the last 5-10 years. We've renovated them well, put them into use, and then made them into homes. And what we want to do is extend that because most properties in the UK are rented unfurnished, especially in the north. And we want to move away from that because people, at the end of the day, do need furniture. I think if they're willing to pay a fair amount for that furniture, then we should do it. But it does need to be tailored to individual needs.
Yes. And what about your background? Tell me a wee bit about your story away from property, Tarek.
Well, I originally sort of qualified as a doctor, medical doctor, 1982, Manchester Medical School, and then I became a paediatrician, a child specialist. Prior to the property business, we had a computer business, which was very successful. And so I went part-time into pediatrics. I was lucky I got a part-time job at the Royal Blackburn Hospital, and I did that for 35 years. And recently, a few years back, I retired from the NHS. But during that period, I was in the computer business, and then for the last 16 years in the property business, helping my family, build a property business.
Brilliant. Well, I wish you the very best of luck, and I can't wait to see the results.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Matteo.
Thank you.
It's pretty astonishing to think that Tarek and his family have renovated more than 2,000 properties. They know what they're doing, they're making a great profit, but I love that Tarek said the most important thing is that he's creating beautiful homes. What will he do here? You can find out later in the show.
We're heading back to the seaside town of Hartlepool, where I saw this two-bed mid-terrace that initially looked to be in poor condition, but inside it was actually a solid lot.
The decorative order is good too. The wallpaper, the paintwork, yes, the floor needs a bit of attention, but this is a surprisingly good start.
You know you might surprise yourself.
It had a guide price of only £29,000, and the only real issue was a bit of damp upstairs. At auction, it was sold for £36,500 and was bought by a family-run property business. Started by Dad Tarek, seen here with his son Hashim.
We've been doing this sort of business for 16 years, and then gradually I brought my family into it because it's too much for me.
Tarek's son Hashim, as well as his two daughters Sadia and Rafia, were part of the business, and together, alongside a team of builders, they were going to carry out a top-to-toe refurb in 3 months with a budget of £15,000. We're back to see if the family were able to pull it off. They certainly have. Tarek and his family have brought the property back to life. As planned, it's now ready for the rental market, and they have done their research to ensure they chose the right standard of finish.
We got an opinion of our potential long-term tenant, and we flexi-furnished the property according to their needs. And we added a few extra touches to make a house into a home.
At the back of the property, there is now a modern kitchen with new units and integrated appliances. And next door, the bathroom has been updated too.
We replaced the bath with a shower because these days tenants prefer showers rather than baths, and we would get a slightly higher rent by doing that. And then we decorated the property top to bottom, fully decorated, and new floor covering. And then we did some partial wiring, not a full rewire, and then we tested it, make sure it was compliant and safe.
It's been a pretty standard renovation for the family, and that's not surprising considering they have over 16 years of experience. The only real issue they had to contend with was finding the cause of the damp upstairs.
We secured the roof, make sure the property was watertight. There were some tiles missing, so we replaced those. We pointed the chimneys, repaired the flashings, and then the gutters and the downpipe, we replaced those.
With those repairs carried out, as well as replacing the flat roof around the back, thankfully the damp hasn't returned. Overall, the work only took 5 weeks, and was carried out by Tariq's team of builders as well as some contractors, but the rest of the work has been down to his children.
With the renovation, my daughter, who works in the business, looks after the renovation side. So she's been involved in planning the work on this renovation.
Rafia has been project managing, and Hashim, here with his dad, has been lining up their next project. And Tariq's other daughter, Sadia, will be taking over with the marketing soon. So with everyone putting in a shift to get this project finished, were they able to keep their spending in check?
Our original budget on this renovation was £15,000, and we actually came just below that at £14,800.
Delivering on time and on budget is a great result. But what more do you expect from a team of professionals? They still plan on sticking to their business model and renting the property out. So let's get the thoughts of our local estate agent. We invited one along to see what they make of the work and get some valuations.
So upon entering the property, I can see that we have had a full refurb. We've got a new kitchen and new bathroom, and I can also see that the boiler has been upgraded and all the internal doors have been replaced.
Tariq has spent a total of £51,300. So with the work now complete, what could this two-bed mid-terrace now be worth?
On the sales market, I would estimate the valuation of this property to be £60,000.
That would be a small pre-tax profit of just under £9,000. But rental has always been the plan here, so how much income could this house generate?
On the rental market, I would estimate this property to achieve £475 to £525 per calendar month.
We've already spoken to a tenant who is willing to pay £525 per calendar month for the property as is.
So the house should generate an annual pre-tax income of £6,300 for the business. This looks set to be yet another successful venture. Tariq can now unwind and put his feet up, knowing that the business is in safe hands, being run by his children.
It's great now because now I can relax and enjoy the business, give all the difficult things to them to do, and I know they will do them.
Sounds like a good setup to me. Leave it to the young'uns.
People try to put us to down. Talking about my generation, my generation.